Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hey, everybody.
Hi there.
Welcome to a very special podcast. We're doing an unusual podcast. It's not about the last week in television and film, as we always do, because I am away. I am, right now that you're listening to me, I'm a complete illusion. I'm not here.
But I am.
But you are. So we decided...
Probably in bed watching television.
So we decided for the couple of weeks that I'm away, for the 2 weekends that I'm gone, to do two very exciting...
Well, previews of spring and summer movies, and it's exciting because usually there's nothing but crap.
I know. It's important to mention that not only are we doing exciting movies, but exciting movies that are either female and or LGBTQ-centered.
Driven.
So this is so unusual for summer, which is mostly used to be, trying to get teens to go.
And by the way, those movies are still existing. They're just not on our list of most anticipated films.
But now, as opposed to normal summers up until now, we actually have a list of movies we're looking forward to.
Yes, we do. And some of them are major releases, although there are a lot of small films.
Small films, indies.
Summer is very good for small films.
But a lot of also kind of movies that are trying to attract a lot of people.
And
lots to look forward to.
Lots and lots.
So this is where you need to pause, go get a pen and a pad, because you're going to need to write this down.
Because of whatever we say is of such importance.
Well, you just don't want to miss out on any of these movies. So we're going to give you all the release dates, and so that you can mark them on your calendar and, not miss out on anything. So let's just delve right in. We're doing spring, this podcast.
Yes.
Next podcast, we're going to be doing summer.
Okay. Anyway, so let's begin on May 4th.
Yes.
With RBG.
Can you guess what that's about?
Oh, God. The bioflick of the great superhero, rock star, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Supreme Court Justice, in case you didn't know.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who has to, by the way, live forever.
Has to.
Yes. Yeah. We just saw a preview of it, so we don't know exactly what you will see, but we know it goes back to her early life. And she was so cute, by the way. She was so beautiful.
She still is cute.
Yes, she is cute, but she was cute in a different way.
Yes, I know.
All the walls she broke in law school and in the work she did and her feminist ideals and the things she fought for all led up to this moment of her being probably the most admired woman in America.
Yeah, it looks great. And really, as Gloria Steinem said, she really is the closest thing we have to a superhero.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to
her
it.
little tiny self.
She's so brilliant.
It's directed by Julie Cohen and Betsy West.
So a female movie all around.
About the greatest female alive.
Yes. May 4th, RBG. Make sure to check it out.
Oh, I was going to say... It's your turn. It is your turn.
No. It is my turn. My turn now to talk about...
You're just repeating.
My turn to talk about a movie that at first I didn't really want to see. Then I saw the beginning of the trailer and I really didn't want to see it. Then I saw the whole trailer and now I'm really eager to see it. So you see the metamorphosis. I'm like a butterfly with this movie.
Oh,
so
yeah.
May 4th. May 4th, Tolly. It's by Diablo Cody, writer Diablo Cody, who also wrote Juno. And it's starring Charlize Theron. And also Mackenzie Davis, whom you might know from *Halt and Catch Fire*. It's an interesting movie about this mother of three who has a newborn, and she is, of course, motherhood. I think is more and more
losing her mind.
More and more movies and TV shows are exposing motherhood for how tough it is.
The ugly side of motherhood,
the non-glamorous, yes. And she gets a gift in the form of a nanny who comes, I guess, at night to help her out so she can sleep.
She needs. Her husband keeps telling her she needs a night nanny. And she has a husband, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And they form this very, very interesting bond, which apparently is much more surprising than we can even imagine or see in the trailer, according to the little tidbit that I read about it. It looks very interesting. Again, exposes motherhood for its other sides.
I love when Charlize Theron goes to her less attractive side. something special comes out of her when she does that. It looks like she's going to be really good in this. And I have a feeling there's sort of a fairy tale aspect to this.
Oh, I didn't get that at all. All I get was that the relationship
I think this
between...
girl is like a fairy godmother.
Well, I
something.
think there. No, I got a very realistic feel of it, but I think that the relationship between them is going to be extremely interesting.
Yes.
And a relationship between women, friendships, romantic, whatever, is always good to see on screen. So May 4th, Tully. Next is up you.
Yes, this is a movie, a very unusual movie called Anything, and
May 11th.
May 11th looks really wonderful. It stars John Carroll Lynch, who you will know from a million things, and the lovely Matt Bomer, who here plays a transgender woman who looks exactly like Angie Harmon, though that has nothing to do. He looks very much like Angie Harmon, which has nothing to do with the plot. Early Landry is John Carroll Lynch, and he's a man from Mississippi who loses his wife and decides, with the help of his sister, to move to L.A. and have a new life. And this is a love story between two unlikely partners. And it looks charming.
Now, just to make sure that you got it, it's the love story is between the widowed man and the transgender woman.
Transgender woman, yes. I think they're really the only two people we've mentioned, so it should be between them.
Though I do want to mention that also
great
two
cast.
other women in this film.
Maura Tierney.
Yes. And Melora Harding.
So we love them. And there, I think, are many other interesting people
but I think,
we just aren't listing. I think the movie is going to be like, a little gift. I think you're going to get this little thing wrapped very plainly, and you're going to open it up, and wonderful things are going to fly out of it.
Let's mention that again, May 11th, Anything. Also May 11th is The Escape, which is a British movie starring Gemma, I never know how to pronounce that, Arterton. Gemma Arterton. Mm-hmm. And her husband in the movie is Dominic Cooper. And it's a movie about a wife and a mother who just can't bear her life anymore and leaves. And on IMDb, the tagline from the movie is an ordinary woman makes an extraordinary decision which will change her life forever. And it is very hard for women to make such a huge decision.
To leave your children behind.
Right. It looks very good. It looks like an important movie to me because, again, it looks like a trend now about talking about how hard it is to be a mother.
Because I think this is a lot of women's secret story.
Absolutely. Again, I think that it's a trend, and it's interesting to get all these different points of view. So May 11th, The Escape, at least in the US, that's the release. Britain, maybe another time.
Also on May 11th.
May 11th is a busy day.
Yes, I think that if you want to go opening day to the movies, you won't
see three in a row.
You won't have any trouble picking which one you're really going to want to see, I think. This movie is called The Terminal.
No, just Terminal.
Oh, Terminal.
Oh,
I see. Well, that changes things. It does, actually.
Okay.
And the only reason that I would see this, even at home in my bed, is because Margot Robbie is starring in it. And once again, she's continuing with very interesting, odd choices for roles for her career. She's really undefinable, and I love that about her. And she's absolutely gorgeous. So the fact that she picks these weird roles is really brave of her.
Though this role is kind of glam for her because she keeps changing costumes, and she's kind of like a chameleon.
Yeah, she changes personalities.
But she's a con woman, and this is one of the most bizarre movies I've ever seen.
I think she's an assassin as well.
I'm not sure what she is. This movie is filled with people, and somehow she brings them all together. But as you said, I wouldn't find any need to see this movie except she to see her doing this role is interesting.
These many roles,
yeah,
it looks like. So
exactly.
Yes, I think it might be interesting to you.
So
May 11th, Terminal. May 11th, Life of the Party.
Woo!
This is a very anticipated film for me. As I wrote here, Bring It On. Stars Melissa McCarthy.
Wait a second. Melissa McCarthy.
Stars Melissa McCarthy. And I was just going to say,
we can stop right here.
Melissa McCarthy. I will watch anything Melissa McCarthy.
We can stop right here,
exactly.
And it's already a reason to watch it.
And sometimes I'll watch it 2 or 3 times later on when it's on, on TV.
Sometimes I watch it despite the fact that the movie itself is not so great. But this time,
this movie looks really, really good. It was written by Melissa McCarthy, and her husband Ben Falcone, and Ben Falcone, her husband, is directing it, and it's about a woman who's dumped by her husband in middle age. And she's been a fabulous, dedicated mother and housewife, and she decides to go back to college to finish her degree. And needless to say, she kind of takes over the world. And it's also a mother-daughter relationship because her daughter is in college with her. So the previews, the trailers we've seen have been delicious. And all I can say again is Melissa McCarthy. May 11th, Life of the Party. Oh, go ahead.
Though she also, there are some other cool people in this: Julie Bowen, Maya Rudolph, Christina Aguilera. So it's fun, and I think everybody's always excited to just say yes to Melissa McCarthy when she says, "Would you come and do this role?"
I think again there's going to be a lot of wonderful people that are going to pop up here and there.
Yeah, probably a lot of cameos. Anyway, it looks hilarious. Okay, one of my most anticipated movies, and we'll talk both about Life of the Party and Book Club when I come back, because we'll see both of them and we'll review them. May 18th, Book Club, and regardless of what the movie is about, it's starring Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, and Mary Steenburgen, which is already to me a reason to watch any movie.
I think Jane Fonda alone is enough.
Jane Fonda alone, Diane Keaton alone
yes.
is Candice Bergen alone, but yes. Anyway, this is about 4 women who have a book club, and they read 50 Shades of Grey, and their lives change as the result. It's about sexual liberation in your 70s and 80s, I guess.
Well, I think not so much 80s. I think there's 180.
Jane Fonda is 80. Anyway, so it looks sweet, hilarious, adorable, and possibly also important, depending on where the movie decides to take it. Usually, the trailers for these movies don't really show the deeper side of movies like that.
This movie is doing something though that is a long time trend, which is taking older people and writing about sex.
And this is why
which is something I don't usually like, but becoming an older person myself, I like to see that they show older people as viable sexual creatures.
We actually we'll go deeper into that when we talk about the movie, because it is a whole subject that needs to much more attention than we can give it now. But so we will definitely follow up with a review of the movie in a few weeks. Also, by the way, it's written by Aaron Sims and Bill Holderman. So we will mention as we go along when women have been also behind the scenes of these movies.
Right, and there's many other women behind the scenes. We don't,
yes,
producers.
But writers and directors. What I mean.
And this is May 18th, the book club.
Just book club.
Another one. Why am I adding all these articles?
Are you going to start calling Facebook the Facebook?
No, I'm not. But I don't want to become like a Northern Englander and start dropping all of my articles.
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
So May 18th, book club, definitely one of our anticipated movies. Now, also May 18th is kind of an odd movie that I can't really exactly tell you what it's about, but I can try to tell you. It's called On Chesil Beach, and it's also a British movie based on a novel by Ian McEwan in 1962 England, and it's kind of a tale of a woman trying to find her sexuality as she's about to get married and as the sexual revolution is taking over the world. It's also starring Saoirse Ronan and Billy Howell and also Emily Watson.
Who I adore.
And the trailer is very cryptic about it, but it looks like it's really mostly her tale of discovering herself, and possibly very conflicted. So it looks interesting, and it also, as you say, oftentimes when I mention this movie,
it looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful.
To me, that alone, the way it looks, is almost reason
It's like
enough.
A seaside British
village,
yeah.
and it just looks breathtakingly beautiful, and I'm there. So
May 18th on Chesil Beach.
All right. It says here on my notes.
Well, I'll tell you why. Okay, so I got
May 18th or 25th.
I got conflicting information on that, so it's either 18th or 25th. I couldn't really verify.
Right. I don't think you're going to care, but
I don't think you're going to care. So why is it on our most anticipated?
Because it looks wild, and for me, it's the kind of thing that I'll watch at home when it's on Showtime. HBO's, one of our streaming services. It's called How to Talk to Girls at Parties, based on a story by Neil Gaiman. And it's almost indescribable, but I am going to describe it. It stars, by the way, Elle Fanning, Nicole Kidman, Ruth Wilson, and I think a few other interesting people. And it's about an alien who is touring the galaxy with a group of other aliens, sort of like we would go to Italy. And she breaks away from her group. And, the party begins from then on. And
it's a 70s punk era, and it's very...
in London suburb.
But where?
Croydon. So as many of you know, Croydon was part of the reason that Archie Punjabi's character would not have sexual relationships with Stella in the fall.
That's how powerful
Croydon has a lot to answer for. Anyway, it's called How to Talk to Girls at Parties, May 18th to 25th.
It's, by the way, written by Philippa Goslett and John Cameron Mitchell.
Oh, John Cameron Mitchell, yes.
Right? It's definitely not for me. It looks so insane and so wild. But
it does look interesting.
If it's your cup of tea.
Yes, And if you get a little drunk or a little stoned, you'd probably enjoy it.
Now, June 1st is a movie I very much am looking forward to. It's called A Kid Like Jake. And it's actually based on a play. It's starring a phenomenal cast, Claire Danes and Jim Parsons, and also Priyanka Chopra, Octavia Spencer, Amy Landecker, and Ann Dowd. So
that alone, again, let's go see it. Whoever,
exactly,
I'm willing to watch it.
And this is a movie. It's again one of those topics that is now very much on everybody's minds. Gender fluid kids, and Jim Parsons and Claire Danes play a couple whose kid is.
Moderately, probably
gender fluid.
He's
gender
he likes
fluid.
Wearing princess clothes and watching princess movies,
right.
And
now it comes to the forefront.
He's 5.
It comes to the forefront. Is that what it is?
I think so.
It comes to the forefront when it's time to send him to school, and the parents are looking into a private school, but his teacher said, diversity always gives you a foot in the door to help him get into private school. And so all of a sudden, the parents are kind of starting to encourage the kid to experiment with his gender expression. And so I thought that it was really interesting that it's not about, it's also of course, about parenting dealing with a gender fluid kid, but it's from a completely different point of view where they actually encourage him, and then the kid is confused, and it looks very interesting.
Quite a bit of conflict
I like
in the family.
The trailer says it's about modern parenting, and I think it's so important it's so interesting because really used to be boy girl, pretty clear cut, at least in parents' minds. Maybe not for the children, but for the parents, it seemed pretty easy. Nowadays, parents have to be open to everything and have to work through anything.
I think also that they think it might be a phase at first. And it's this teacher that points out that it might be something more than a phase. Yeah. And that's when they really start looking into it and taking it seriously.
It looks wonderful. It really looks full of heart.
Heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yes.
June 1st, A Kid Like Jake. We'll definitely be watching.
We will be there.
Okay, now here we couldn't.
Okay, we have to both talk about this.
It was like Solomon and the children.
Yes.
You cut the kid in the middle. I don't know.
So we're splitting it in half. June 8th.
Ocean's 8.
Oh, look at that 8th on the 8th. Whoa!
Really, do we even need to tell you?
We have been looking forward to this movie since the day it was announced, which was quite a while ago.
I've seen it at some point. It was shot in New York, and I was very tempted to just go and look for it and go stalk them, but I didn't. The reason is because of the phenomenal cast, of course.
Oh my God.
Who is in it?
Girls, hold on to your hat. It's Cate Blanchett, Sandra Bullock, Sarah Paulson, Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Helena Bonham Carter, Rihanna, and someone who I never have heard of before, but all of a sudden is everywhere.
She's a musician primarily.
Aquafina.
Yeah.
So it really looks like fun. It's a caper movie, a heist movie, as are all the Ocean's movies.
And how brilliant it is that they thought, wait a second, why do Ocean's whatever only with men? Let's do the female version.
Debbie Ocean is Danny Ocean's estranged sister.
Sandra Bullock. And she gathers her perfect crew to pull off the biggest heist in New York City. It
takes
looks
place
like
at the Met Gala. And we're going to get a very inside look at something that most of us only see a few minutes on a red carpet on the news at the Met Gala.
And it looks like so much fun. So much
Every
fun.
second of it looks delicious.
And I think it's
I could eat the film.
I think it's pretty safe to say that this is our most anticipated movie of spring, right?
I think so.
The spring. Okay, so Ocean's 8.
Well, this is not the spring. This is June 8th.
This is spring. June.
Yes,
no.
I know that it's
Summer
the spring
starts
as
in
far
June
as
22nd.
the solstice and all of that stuff.
Yes, and as far as our podcast is concerned.
Yes, well, as far as I'm concerned, June 8th is summer.
Well, she always has to be rebellious. But whatever it is, it's our most anticipated movie
of the spring.
And you know why I'm doing this? Because summer we have another most anticipated movie in summer.
Okay.
And I'm trying to trying to enjoy both worlds.
We can have many most anticipated
exactly.
films.
All right, this is a movie that I definitely... Well, I shouldn't say I definitely will not see, because it looks interesting, but at the same time, it looks completely insane. But there's a but. So it's also June 8th. It's called Hotel Artemis.
It's not called The Hotel Artemis.
No, it's not called. The next movie that we'll talk about has a "the." So it looks insane. It stars Sterling K. Brown, and it's a slightly futuristic movie. 2028.
Is it only? Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's about this.
But did we not say?
Wait.
Okay, because there is a reason.
Yes,
that
there's
we are
a reason.
Thinking of seeing this movie.
Hold on. It's in LA, and it's this weird kind of, again, near future but already dystopian, and this nurse who runs a secret emergency room for criminals, a very exclusive one. Now, the person playing the nurse is Jodie Foster.
In a role like, I think, likes of which you have never seen her. It looks so...
Well, she looks great.
She looks so interesting and unique. The rest of the movie looks really kind of
bizarre, yeah.
But, or as I like to say, Cucamonga. But...
She alone, I think, would be reason to try and watch this. I wouldn't pay to go to the theater to see it, but I would see it.
Well, yes, we might, because we have another set of reasons that we see movies, which is when we're on the Vineyard, we'll see a lot of things we wouldn't go to see in New York.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would go to the theater to see this.
And this doesn't sound like a movie that, even with our friend Richard's wonderful film
that
society,
he would actually bring,
will actually make it to Martha's Vineyard in the summer.
But Jodie Foster, you guys check it out, because you might actually want to see this. So June 8th, Hotel Artemis. And finally...
Now, I'm very interested in this movie for a variety of reasons, and I think for our purposes we should be. June 15th, the Year of Spectacular Men.
I just want to say this is a line you will never hear from us on this podcast in any other context, the Year of Spectacular Men.
You're absolutely right. Although, I think there are quite a few spectacular men. But I would never make it the focal point of anything. It looks worthy for many, many reasons, but one of the reasons I'm especially interested in it is directed by Leah Thompson and written by Madeline Deutsch, who is also starring. Leah Thompson is Madeline Deutsch's mother. And
this is a mother-daughter
collaboration. The script that Madeline wrote is based on her experiences, loosely based on her experiences, her last year of college, or her first year out of college is what I think it was.
And it's a lot about her relationship with her mother and her older sister.
Exactly. And there was a little interview with Leah and Madeline, and both of them said that this was a love letter to L.A. It's shot all in L.A., and where they've spent where she spent all of her life, and her mother spent a good part of her life being in the movies. And Thompson always said, although she has already done some directing, that for her whole career almost, she was at the end of the painter's brush, and now she's the painter. And this is very exciting to her, and I think working with her daughter was a wonderful experience, and I think we're going to see a lot of that. I really do. I think we're going to see a great deal of sort of love and attention to detail about this, this sort of...
Well, it looks kind of very straight.
It's about her post-college
very young and very straight, but nevertheless
escapades, failures, and.
But I would be interested in seeing it to see their points of view as not only as two women, but as two women who are mother and daughter.
So June 15th, the year of spectacular men.
And this is our podcast for spring movies. And please join us next week for our anticipated movies for summer. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Or hear you, or you'll hear us.
You'll hear us.
Yeah.
We won't hear them unless something freaky is going on.
But email us. But email us, ladypartstv@gmail.com. See you later.
Bye.